And here I am today, your ultimate life. That's what this is about. This is about creating the purpose, the prosperity, and the joy that you want. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want purpose. Maybe you don't want prosperity, and maybe you don't want joy. Or you live in a story that you can't have it. I used to live in that story too, even though I had huge financial success. I had a story that I didn't deserve it, that I couldn't keep it, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know about you, but yesterday, 2 days ago, we talked about entrepreneurship and the energy and creativity that comes from being an entrepreneur and making things happen. Whether you're in business or you're sort of a side hustle entrepreneur or whatever, the spirit of entrepreneurship is the spirit of not being satisfied with the status quo. I remember the Think Different campaign that Apple had when Steve Jobs, and I think it was I forgot who the first voiceover was that did that. But anyway, about the here's to the square pegs and the round holes and all that conversation, the misfits and the ones who see things differently. So here's an invitation for you. This goal, my road to 50 million, is about helping you, 50 million of you, to create a life that you love: purpose, prosperity, and joy. Now there's only three categories of people. There are people that are already living life like they want to and know it. They've created life like you want to have it. If that's you, that's great. I'd like to talk with you. I'm inviting you to connect with me. And the reason I am is because I sincerely want to expand the number of people that I know that are in my network that are living and contributing, adding good to the world is the way I say that, but that are living truly into their purpose, that have a purpose for life and know it. I finally discovered that now later in life, that my purpose is to love and serve everyone around me. And I've also discovered that we as humans seem to be happier and more fulfilled when we're loving and serving people around us. And somehow I used to, or it seems like there's a mental disconnect between loving and being of service and taking care of the necessities of life, like making money, paying mortgages and bills, and taking care of sickness and all the other stuff that happens. There really isn't any difference. We only have one life, 1 hour. The one moment that you and I are in right now, it's the same moment. Everything, and I mean literally everything, depends on how we perceive that moment, what we believe about that moment, what we believe about the circumstance that we're in. So here's why I put this one about setbacks and messes right after the day about creating cash. Because when I first opened my recording studio, I opened a recording studio in Phoenix, Arizona in 1984, I think. And that wasn't the first time I'd been in that business. Actually, it was 1982, 84. 82, it doesn't matter. Long time ago, 40 years ago, I opened a recording studio and began recording both my own music and music for other people. And I went and did that for a long time. And I still have a recording studio. It's over there. It's all changed now because back in those days, you needed a big room and a big mixing board and big tape recorders. And yeah, the tape recorder I had at one time was like 4 feet high and 2 feet, 2.5 feet wide and deep, and used 2-inch tape. When I first opened that, I imagined certain things would happen. I would record some music and some people would like it, and I'd get it distributed, and all kinds of cool things would happen, and I'd make a difference that way. And things did not unfold the way I thought. I did make music. I did get airplay. I did sell some records, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted. You know what part of the reason was? Is because I wasn't willing to pay the price to continue the work of recording and promotion. It wasn't that, oh, my stuff didn't catch on. It did. And it did in direct proportion to the work that I put in it. So think about that in creating a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. And those are just the words that I use to describe the ultimate life for me. If I say the ultimate life, a life you love and can't wait to be in every day, what are your words? My words are purpose, prosperity, and joy. What are yours? If you describe your perfect life, often when I ask people that question, and I do it all the time on my podcast, people use the word freedom. And I think that comes from them having a sense that where they are now is not free. They're not experiencing freedom right now. So they think of the ultimate life would be free. And they use words that describe something that is different than they have right now. Oh, that ultimate life, it would be that over there. I'm not free now because I have all these obligations and things that take my energy and time that I don't really want to do. And I use the word obligation um, like it's poison, because the word obligation, it doesn't have to mean this, but for lots of folks, it means I'd rather be doing something else, something that I have to do. And it carries a little bit the seeds of resentment. I'd rather be doing something else. If I could do anything I wanted, it wouldn't be this. What would life be like for you if you had no obligations? Is that even possible? Yes, it is, because I have none. And that might sound, oh, irresponsible. No, not at all. I have tons of commitments, and they're things I have chosen and continue to choose on purpose, actively choose to do. So I would invite you to consider that creating a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, and insert your words there, is within your grasp today. You can have the life you want today. And by life, I mean every part of it. It doesn't matter if you're coping with financial struggles or illness or people that don't like you. I have that. When I think of setbacks and messes, I read a Facebook post this morning written by a friend whose podcast I've been on, and he was writing about messes that he'd made in his life, bad decisions, and the consequences of those, losing relationships and sadnesses. And he talked about it in a, for me, was a sad way, with a sense of finality, like those relationships were lost. And for me, it's always comma for now. Like I have, because of the past that I had with addictions and divorces and things, I have, battlefields of things behind me that are not, if I could wave a wand, they're not like I would have them right now. Comma for now, because the world changes, people change. The universe has been unfolding for 15 billion years without my help. Life and the flow of life is changing for everyone and everything all the time. So the fact that there are still strained relationships in coming from my past in family and with kids, some of my kids and stuff, doesn't concern me. It makes me sad, but I also know that everything is for now. And that in the wisdom of providence and the opportunities that come before us, things can and will and do change. So if you have a setback and a mess, which is the topic of today's, it's for now. Like I remember in 2008 when the market crashed and real estate crashed and banks crashed and everything crashed. In the church group in the ward I was in Phoenix, every single Sunday there was talk about employment and who had a job and who didn't and what opportunities were there, and it was a huge struggle for people getting through that. Now here we are 14 years later, 15 years later, and that's a distant memory. And so all of that changed. So no matter what your setbacks or messes are right now, even if you created them, they can and they will change. You can be an instrument of that change. Now, you and I, we can't make other people do or believe or think something. That's up to them. But what I can do and you can do, and I make it a point to do, is I'm being the very best person I can be today on purpose, loving and serving everyone that I can touch. Why? Because I can, because that's, that's who I choose to be. And I offer this conversation in connection with yesterday, which was about creating cash. Your ability to create a business that generates income and makes a living and makes a difference, income and impact, right? is directly 100% correlated to how you choose to show up every day. If you show up as a hopeful, loving, capable, can do, get it done person, you will create success. Your external circumstances might be troublesome right now. There's lots of people that coming out of this pandemic have had job changes and financial reversals. We're facing high inflation right now. Joy and I were talking about prices in the store for groceries. And she has a really good memory about what things used to cost a year ago, and I don't. I don't have room on my hard drive for that, but she does, and she's able to note really quickly. Well, this has gone up this much, and this much, and this much, and so that can be a financial struggle and setback for people, me, you, any of us. But it doesn't change me being happy today. I can be happy and am happy. I am happy no matter what, and you can have that also. So here's the invitation today. The invitation today is for you to define what your ultimate happiness in life looks like. What has to be in place? And I want you to listen to yourself as you define that. You get to define that all alone. So listen to the words you use. Is it external? I need more money, which is outside. I need a better job, which is outside. I need so and so to do such and such. If it's external, then you or I were handing our happiness to external events. That's not a safe place to be. Unless the conversation and connection is with the divine, who's perfect and almighty and all the rest, that's a dangerous thing. Is put your success and happiness outside of yourself. It is inside of you. It consists of your relationship with yourself, loving yourself and understanding who you are. It consists of your relationship with your Creator, the possibility, the gifts and talents you have, the possibility you have to use those for service and to do good. That's it. Everything else is flimsy and changeable. Okay? So in setbacks and messes, you and you alone control how they feel and what your action is in context of that. Someone was telling me the other day, a call I was having, about the word responsible, and they were changing it in their own mind to response-able, A with an A, responsible. We are always response-able. We are able to respond. And how we choose to respond, with joy, with happiness, with character, with integrity, my dad used to say, in grand style. So if you're going through a hard thing, go through it in grand style. You'll find that you're happier, it feels better, and you know what else happens? You're more creative. So yesterday we talked about creating cash and how to do that. It's known. It's also known how to deal with setbacks and struggles. It's also known how to overcome challenges. Those pieces of knowledge are available. The thing that's always missing if we're struggling is our willingness to walk the road. The examples are there, the systems are there, the possibilities are there. And so I encourage you and I invite you to live joyfully today, to live your ultimate life today, to even define it like I define the ultimate life as purpose, prosperity, and joy. What are your words? Are you living into them? Are you excited about life? And if you're not, why not? And if the answer to why not is some external thing, you're giving your power away. You're giving your life away, and time, which is the only substance of life, you're handing it off to other forces. So I invite you to ignore the setbacks and messes. I invite you to ignore them energetically. You might need to take action about them. Of course you do. That's fine. Do it. But don't live under the control of those things unless you want to. You don't have to. So you can create business, you can create cash, you can create relationships, and above all, you can have a happy, joyful time doing it. So here are my 3 invitations. I'm on a road to 50 million. I'm committed to help 50 million people to discover this truth, to live into it, to define their own ultimate life. What is that? And then to get into it. to do that, to live that way right now. I'm committed to help 50 million people this year, and my year started October 14th. So I'm coming to the end of the first quarter here pretty quick, January 14th, right? And I'll give you reports along the way about what's happening. I got a neat opportunity yesterday, an opportunity to be on another television network. So those kinds of things are just popping up, but they pop up because of the stuff that I'm telling you about. The definition, the goals, the energetic stance, who I'm being in the world. And that's available to anybody. There's nothing magic about my ability or choice to do that. If I can help you reach your goals, I'm asking for the opportunity to do that. I would like to discuss your goals. I would like to see what we can do together to help you get exactly where you want to go. Because the path is known. The steps are known. The thing that's missing is the willingness to walk most of the time. 3 invitations. If you're living the life you want to right now, please reach out. I want to talk to you. I want to increase the number of people that I know that are living that way, because the more collective power we create, the more good we can add to the world. And I have lots of places that you can share your message if you want to, podcasts and television shows and other kinds of things. So I'm inviting you to talk to me about that. Number 1. Number 2 is, if you want help, you're not creating the money, income, and impact you want, then let's talk, because I know the way. I found it. I've discovered it. I'm walking it. I live it. And I'm in the company of many others who do. And the third thing is, if you want to help me reach 50 million, I'd love to talk with you for that, because I need all the help I can get. Thank you for being with me today. Setbacks and messes are not exciting. They're just things we deal with on the way, even big ones. I'm giving you all the love and encouragement that I have. I know you can have anything you want. I'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.